Okay, so today I've got another pretty fun video. Last week's video where we just sat down and chatted for like 12 minutes did really well. So we're going to be doing another one of those and diving deeper into a topic that is extremely important, especially if you're a startup, but as well as if you're currently scaling your software and just want to get to that next level. We are talking about building funnels and, most importantly, actually creating converting landing pages and onboarding your users into your software in a way where they feel welcome and that they actually stay with your software past the free trial period, past your $1 trial period, and for months on end. So let's get right into it. So your landing page is one of the most important parts of your marketing funnel. I'd even argue that it's more important than your actual ads, because when users see your ads, see your social media content, and they inevitably come to your website to purchase your product, your software, they're curious, but they don't have that trust fully built up yet. So your landing page is really what convinces them. And more importantly, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, your onboarding process is what keeps them. So let's talk about your landing page. This is going to be completely different from a desktop or laptop to a mobile device. More often than not, you're going to need two different landing pages, one specifically for desktop and one specifically for mobile. At least that's what we found works the best. Your landing page needs to do three main things. One is hook the users in. Two is give them all the logical reasons why your app is the best option out there. And three, give them all the emotional reasons that they might be looking for why your app is specifically made for their solution. The biggest point I want to hit here is your landing page needs to line up perfectly with your ads or your social media content. What I mean by this is if there's a very big overarching claim that you're making in your ads or in your social media content, you need to state that claim in your hero section on your website. Because if there's any sort of friction or tension, as little as that, it increases the chance of the users dropping off, because the whole reason they came to your website is because they were interested in the promise that the ad gave them. So you want to make sure all of this kind of stuff lines up. Going through, the next thing directly underneath the fold should be any sort of recognizable logos or big client testimonials that you have. This is extremely important because a lot of people make buying decisions based on things that worked for others. They have a herd mentality and think that if it's worked for 100,000 other people, why would it not work for me? Underneath that is where you actually go into all your detail about your software. This is where you'd explain logically what it is, all the emotional outcomes that they might get. But most importantly, have sign up buttons or get started buttons at every single section of your landing page. We've gone through so many post hog recordings and people click everywhere. You don't want to give them one option to click at the very top and then one at the very bottom. You want to consistently push this idea of signing up to them throughout your entire landing page. This seems like such a simple thing, but it's crazy how different software landing pages perform, whether they have basically two buttons, one at the top and one at the bottom, and like 10 buttons scattered throughout. Now, I know a bunch of apps are going to be completely different. There's more consumer type, B2C, there's B2B high ticket apps, but all of these apps should follow a similar onboarding process. So let's say these users have went through your entire landing page and now they are interested in actually signing up for your software. They click on any one of those buttons and they should be led to a onboarding questionnaire. A lot of people make the mistake of adding their payment details as the first thing when they sign up. The problem is they don't have enough of an emotional commitment to this app just yet to be able to, make a decision on how much they want to pay, whether they want to pay or not, and how fast they want to put in their credit card details and sign up. That's why it's extremely important for you to create an onboarding questionnaire. You'll notice a lot of mobile apps do this really well. They ask you a bunch of questions that make it feel like they're giving you a customized solution, and some of them actually are, but the fact of the matter is a lot of them don't. but it is a very strong psychological thing where you are slowly investing. You are almost like at a doctor's appointment, learning things about yourself. And then the app says, cool, we've tailored a custom solution for you. Here's how much it's going to cost. Because you've already spent all that time giving them all that extra information, you feel like you've been given a custom solution. And on top of that, it's like they care. You know, they've asked you so many questions and you've done all these micro commitments. All those micro commitments stack up like crazy. But once those micro commitments have stacked up, it's almost natural to say yes to whatever it may be. And on top of that, mobile apps, again, do this really, really well, is they offer you something like $12 a month or $50 for the entire year. They give you a crazy discount at the end of this onboarding funnel that you are more inclined to actually spend more money up front, which is what they're hoping for, rather than what you actually initially came in for, which was the $12 monthly plan. Only after this onboarding sequence, right before they pay, or maybe include it in your actual payment form, only then should you have them create an account. So your onboarding framework should look like this. They click on the sign up button. They are prompted to either, it depends on your app, but either log in first with Google, email, Apple, whatever, or fill out the questionnaire and then create an account. So you have them create an account, go through the questionnaire, and at the end of the questionnaire, you ask them for their payment details. This way, you have their email and everything right at the beginning. It feels like a customized solution. And only at the end, after you've gotten all these micro commitments, do you actually ask for their payment details. This increases their chance to actually sign up by nearly 50%. All throughout this onboarding form, you can even be showing them a bunch of case studies and testimonials popping up around the screen, around their question form that they're filling in, so that they're consistently being fed this idea of, it's worked for other people, why wouldn't it work for me? After they've actually paid and everything, you want to make sure that they're retained and they get their first win as fast as possible. To do this, you're going to implement a product tour. Now, Intercom does this for you. You can go and sign up. It's just under $200 a month. But you can create an interactive product tour, which basically guides a new user through the app to get their first win as fast as possible. If you go on Google anywhere, they recommend your first win to be under like 5 minutes. I think that's absolute bogus. Their first win should come 30 to 60 seconds max after onboarding into your software. This is what's going to retain them, because a lot of users end up dropping off, especially in free trial periods, because they have no clue what to do. There's no guidance. So these product tours, on top of the questionnaire in the beginning, are ridiculously important. Now you can't custom code this, but like I said, Intercom does this for you for just under $200 a month. So just add that to your tech stack. And on top of that, there's their AI support agent that I love preaching about because it's just so good. And all this extra stuff that they offer within that $200 that I think it is probably the best thing on the market for this right now. Now, if we could go back a little bit to the actual landing page, I forgot to mention that one of the most crucial things that we've noticed on Post Hog that people look for is how your app compares to others. One of the biggest things that we noticed convinced people to actually go and press that sign up button was after they read the FAQ of what makes our app different, and when they looked at the comparison table that visually displays what our app does differently from everyone else and where all these other apps are lacking, why we are the best solution for them. So your onboarding is the most important thing when it comes to actually bringing your users in, securing that deal, and retaining them for months on end. If you're able to implement a good onboarding process, like I mentioned in this video, with the optimized landing page, with the optimized questionnaire, and the optimized product tour, you are going to crush it with your software. I hope you found this video valuable. And if you want to see more actual specific tips and strategies, follow me on Instagram. I will link that first thing in the description below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.